Certified step of what you hear for cocaine so good, tell it real on the alcohol. Murder, you ain't got to know I can't ready. Murders on my team, begging for y'all playing games, wax on like the critic game.
Work time. There we go. Minute 10 seconds. Slow down. You got to take it up. Last 10 seconds. Finish strong. Finish strong. Fight through, fight through, fight through, fight through. 400 seconds. Pick up that pace. You gotta pick it up, Jalil. Come on, give us some, give us some. Come on, Jalil, you right down. That's it. Bite down and work it. Let's go. Come on, Jalil. Here, real dog. Real dog. Don't you slow that thing down. Keep my pace up. Keep it going. Keep it going. You got a minute 30. Come on. Pick it up now. Come on. You got a minute 30. Pick it up. Fight through. Keep it going. Keep it going. Keep it going. Just throwing down. Just throwing it down. Pick it up. Come on, Jalil. Pick it up. Come on. Come on. How bad do you want to be a world champion? How bad? Fight through it. How bad do you want to be a world champion? Come on, Jalil, fight down. Work that shit out. Pick it up, Jalil. Under a minute, let's go. You got under a minute, pick it up. Come on, come on. Fast. Come on. That's it. Where the dog at? Dig deep, dig deep. 52. Come on, Jalil. Dig deep. Beat it. He said you can. Come on, come on. We know you can. Prove me wrong. He said you can. We know you can. Come on, Jalil. Let's go. Get your head that bag and pick it up. Finish strong. You got 30-something seconds, Jalil. Get that finish strong. Pick it up. He ain't gonna do it. Come on. Come on. Faster. Come on. Finish that shit. Let's go. Come on, 30 seconds. Come on. Come on. Come on. Fight through it. Come on, fight through it. Look at him. Fight through it. Fight through it. Come on, Jalil. Come on. Give it to me. Give it to me. Yeah. Come on. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Pick it up. Five to you. Come on. Step that way. Step straight up into you here. Stepping all over the ankle. Deep step. Children, count with your head off. You got to spin that back.
This camp been totally different from the first 3 camps that he had when he was turning pro. The first camp, I say the first 3 camps, everything was 100% focused on making sure he was all the way prepared. And I think we did an amazing job. Zoe, strength and conditioning, definitely been on point. He looked chiseled, he looked really cut up. And some good coaches that I know, they called me after the first fight and they was like, y'all overdid it. Like, how we overdid it? He was like, A couple of them were like, there was no fat on his body at all. He was all the way lean. That's great for a bodybuilder, but he needs something for when he's fighting that fat to burn off. So learning that, understanding it, and then good coaches like Coach Calvin, Coach Kenny, Coach Bosey, they were like, don't forget he's still growing up. Like he an early pro, and he been around the sport a long time, but he's still a kid. And they were like, look at him, he's physically starting to change, so you gotta kind of adjust what y'all do to make it fit the body. Don't be so concerned about him looking like a bodybuilder. Be concerned about him being able to carry out the task. So this time for this camp, I can really tell physically he has grown up. Not I'm overeating, I'm just growing. His face is getting full, his body, his back, his shoulders. And we made adjustments for that. And we all doing the same thing. You know, after his fight in December, you know, we talked about, did you feel weak, did you feel tired? He was like, nah, and I know you used to box that, but, you know, I'm cutting this weight. You know, wasn't feeling bad, but just that concept. And so he was like, you start working out too. They gonna kill you, lose no weight. And I started working out, started running, doing everything. When he come in the gym, I do that with him, and then, you know, do some of the work getting ready for fights. And for me, he done encouraged me to do it, and I done lost 80 pounds so far. You know, I was 301, now I'm 220. With him, I think it helps because I'm changing my eating habits, so I'm eating like him, if that makes sense. And it's making it easier for him to cut the weight. You know, I'm putting on the sweats and stuff, he putting on the scuba suit, and it's like I'm not doing it alone. You know, Coach Zoe, where's Zoe go? Zoe, yeah, Coach Zoe, he always in shape. You know, that's that Marine thing going on. But he bring a lot of exercises to the table that make us look at boxing different. You know, so that's been a big piece for us. You know, Coach Herb, he came on 100% this camp and helping us with the mitts. I like the way he does mitts. Me, I'm one of those guys that my way isn't the only way. So I do my version of how I want mitts to be, more or less what I want to see in the fight. Coach Herb does mitts, and he works on speed combinations. So we're getting that. If you saw his last fight, you saw more speed combinations in the last fight, because that's what they were working on with Coach Herb. So everything is a building block. And, you know, I try to emulate as much as I can. I'm not the athlete that he is, but I'm trying to show him that you're not, like, it's not a by yourself thing. You know, and I think that's been kind of helpful for him in this whole process, because he's been pushing himself more even when I'm not there. He said, I got to do this, because even he realized, like I said, he's getting bigger and growing up.
You know, I got to ask you, Jalil, you know, with your dad going through that, you know, with the weight loss process, man, how's that journey, you know, seeing him going through that and knowing and changing the way he's eating and getting more healthy?
It's been good, you know. He started off what was that? Did you start training in March or April of last year?
Probably started doing light stuff in around March or April, but then it was almost off again, on again. Really didn't put it in motion.
Put it like this, in about April last year, or we could say around this time last year, the end of March, he can only do a mile on the treadmill. After a mile, he was done. Now he at the point where he give you 3 miles a day in just about 32 minutes.
Oh, wow.
That's a decent pace. That's almost a full-on run. And on the weekends, he give you 5 miles an hour, or 5.5 miles an hour, which is a running pace the whole time. He couldn't do that a year ago. So with him progressing like that, I got to progress too, because he'll be 48 this year, right? 49. He'll be 49. He'll be 49 in June. I'm not about to let I'm not about to let he's 49. I'm not about to let him outdo me. If he can do 5 in an hour, I gotta at least do 10 in an hour. If he dropped 40 in a camp, no problem. I gotta, wherever I gotta be at, I gotta be there yesterday. So yeah, it's no excuse at all. You know, you gotta get to work in regardless.
Now I gotta ask you, man, how's the preparation been like for this camp? Because will be your first 6-rounder?
Yes.
First 6-rounder.
It's been a little bit different. We've been sparring different, game planning different. It's all focused. The biggest focus to me is being better than I was my last fight. You know, I always want to improve. First fight you got, first round knockout. It was good, but it was a lot of things I did wrong. Second fight, I fixed those things, but while fixing those things, I seen there was other things I did wrong. Third fight, fixed things, but it was things I feel like I needed to improve on. So this go around, we're gonna try and tighten up some more kinks, and we go out there and do what we gotta do. It's all about improvement to me.
Now, when did you get that call, man, that you were going to be on that Fedora undercard?
That was the first week of March.
First week of March?
Or what was that? The 11th, 12th? Yeah, second week of March, and I say it's go time. You know,
Now,
always.
Now, do you know anything about your opponent that you're going to be facing out there in Vegas?
He's a great opponent, game opponent, 4-0, 4 knockouts. But I'm coming ready to fight, just like he's coming ready to fight. And you know, I want to show why I am and what I am, and why Floyd reached out and signed me. He doesn't sign 100 million fighters. He got 26 active fighters on the roster. Out of all the pro boxers in the world, it's 26 active fighters on the roster. So, yeah, I gotta go out there and showcase.
You know, speaking of that, man, you know, Tank got this fight coming up May 28th against Rolly. Will we see you after your fight, man, go up there a couple of times with Tank, man, up there? Because, you know, y'all always, man, it's something special when y'all two link up together, man.
Dudes call us, we always gonna show. That's the one thing about Coach Calvin. He's a great dude. He always look out for us, and he allows us to get in the fire to see if we're ready to, you know, burn or get out the fire. So I do appreciate. So anytime he call, whether it's Tank or anybody he working with, then we gonna answer the bell, especially when it's Tank. Cause Tank a good dude, man. I mean, he give my son opportunities, but in those opportunities, Tank bringing that thing to him, and he tell him, "Shorty, if you gonna sink or swim, you gonna find out if you ready to do this." So for a guy like Tank to do that, I kind of take it personally if we go out there and we don't perform to the level that we spar with Tank, because that's being disrespectful to him. Because he is one of the top 5 fighters in the world, and if he has you in camp with him getting ready for a fight, then you're supposed to show what that preparation did helping you get ready for your fight.
Now, I got to ask you, man, another fighter, man, your weight division, man. You just recently worked out a deal with Showtime, and that's Jerron Boots Ennis, man. What's your thoughts on that, man, him inking a deal with Showtime?
That's big. That basically shows you that, you know, the next group of guys is about to take over. You know, you got Earl, Terrence, those guys are either about to retire or move up. So with that about to happen, you got Boots about to take over. You got what's my man name? What's
And welterweight?
Yeah.
Bradley.
Huh?
Bradley.
No, he's 40. He's 40. I'm thinking about Bradley. He fight 47. He has the belt right now.
I thought it was Earl, Terrence Crawford, and one Earl Ugas. I thought those were
Ugas.
the
Yeah, with Ugas also moving up, the 47 division is wide open for that next group of guys, and it's my job to make sure I'm prepared when my class is ready. When it's my time to go, I got to be prepared.
And you know, we got two 147s from our area shining, man. You and Trayvon, man. Y'all be putting that work in together too also as well, man.
Yeah, definitely. You know, we the next group. You know, next thing you know, you'll be looking up 2-3 years from now talking about a unification bout with us two. You know, he might have 2 belts, I might have 2 belts, and we unify the division, or I might have 3, he have 1, unified, however it is. But the pro game is, well, boxing now, in my opinion, is about to get back to seeing the big fights. You know, Terrence and Earl may be cool, but at the end of the day, this is a business. Just like Earl and the Chalos are cool. Earl said when he goes up to 54, he wants a belt. One of the Chalo twins to have a belt at 54. He said, if we can make it happen, we can make it happen. He said, I'm a break bread with my brother before I break bread with anybody else. So
that's a great point right there.
Yeah,
because your dad talked about that all the time,
like, honestly,
all the time.
If it's up to me, if I wanna split $100 million with somebody, I'm gonna split it with somebody I know, somebody I'm truly locked in with. Especially if you have a situation like that where you have a great fight the first go round, and the fans want to see it again. Now y'all robbed the bank twice.
You know, that's a great point what you're saying right there, because what do you think about fighters saying, oh man, we friends, man, we never gonna fight? What's your thoughts on that?
He ain't your friend if both of y'all are great fighters, and y'all are both, let's say y'all are both in the same weight, y'all both got belts, and the fight has the potential to be a big money fight, and one says, "Oh nah, I'm gonna vacate so somebody else can fight him," and that fight ends up being less money, you're not my friend for real. Because if we was really friends, we would fight for the big money fight, and if the fight looked good, we'll rematch, and it'll be even bigger money fight because they're like, "Oh, the rematch is gonna be crazy." And if the rematch goes great, a trilogy would be even better. Y'all are out the ring 3 times, and you did it with your sidearm man, compared to doing it with Joe Blow, and yeah, your man missed out. Or
Brian and Maurice Blocker fought each other, and they was best friends. Yeah, Simon Brown and Maurice Blocker, they fought each other because it's a business at the end of the day. If Jalil and his man fought in the amateurs and that didn't spoil their friendship, then why would it spoil our friendship when we just made millions of dollars? At the end of the day, no matter who took the belt home, our families just became financially set for life. How is there a loser in that?
It's not.
Nah, I just don't. Yeah, I don't see how there's a loser in that. You know, we have a lot of great fighters. If my son is one of those guys that's looking for a shot at a world title and the only shot he can get is against a friend, I hope it doesn't. I hope the friend doesn't take it personal, because we wouldn't take it personal. If they say, "Hey, one of your friends is the best guy we could find for this fight, and he has a chance, fans think, to beat you," it's my job to make sure my son is ready not to get beat. That doesn't mean he's not my friend. It just means for these 12 rounds, we're adversaries. After the adversaries are done, if I call and check on his kids, guess what I'm gonna do the next day? Call and check on his kids.
Man, that's a great point there. Man, I truly appreciate your time, big dog, as always, man.
3 weeks out, baby.
Oh, man, hey, for my bully people out there in Vegas, y'all be asking me about Jalil. Look, he fighting next weekend, April 9th out there, man. Y'all can get y'all tickets, man. Y'all need to go. He'll be on the undercard for Fedora. So the bully world, y'all asked me, there you go, Vegas, April 9th.
Man, tell them we want some shirts and shit. We see all them fly-ass bully shirts they be having on. Man, stop by the fight and bring some merch.
April 9th at the old Hard Rock Hotel, is now the Virgin Hotel and Casino, on the Erickson Lubin, Sebastian Fedora undercard. We live.
Look at his back. Look at his back. He drink the gold milk, you understand? In the face. In the face.
Boy, he crazy, man. He crazy.
It's terrible, man.
Oh, man.
Hey, he got some diet stuff for you that help me
Man, you looking good, man.
mentally, man. But
Man, look, man, whole new dog.
Hey, he about to audition for New Kids on the Block.
Hey, Mike Fox
On a reunion
said,
tour.
Mike Fox said this summer he gonna go back to looking like Bernard from 2002. Back when he was walking around this day looking like Tim Bradley.
Oh, no. Not Tim Bradley.
Walking around this day looking like Tim Bradley.
that's crazy, man. Hey, that healthy thing, man, it's contagious. Like I said, that running, I really get mentally free when I get on there and run. I don't answer the phone. I got my headphones on, watching whatever I'm watching or listening. Nothing else matters for that time when I'm running. I can come back to reality after it's over. But when I'm running, nothing else matters. Me and my son used to do something when he was an amateur. We used to have to use the treadmills. We would race. Remember how we would race, Jalil?
Oh yeah, hey, so oh my goodness, Zed. We had this race. He'd probably blow me out in the race now. He didn't got in shape. This baby wasn't in shape. The goal was in 30 minutes. I had to do 4 miles before he could do 2 miles.
Oh, Lord. Oh.
And that was the
You
race.
had to double up.
That was the race.
I'd be so mad.
I beat him. If we did it 5 days in a week, I beat him 3 or 4 days out of the week.
You know, treadmill running backwards, talking about, I'm all right. I used to be so mad, but I wasn't mad enough not to go make a sandwich and get some chips. But now, I'm gonna wait, but at this fight, because he couldn't wait. But when he come back, I'm ready for my rematch. But I want mine in a 1 hour run. He got to.
We're going for an hour.
Hey, I'm game. If he can beat me out in my hour time, then he done did something. Because I know I'm going to do at least 5.25 miles. So he going to have to put in 10 or 11 in that hour.
Oh, man.
I'm going to be pushing. Hey, Zeb, when we had that competition, I'm going to make sure I invite you and you can record that competition. See me get the W over here.
You gotta get the belt, the bully belt you got.
I gotta make an OTR belt. I gotta on the roast belt.
Hey, the week after he come back, he done got his rest.
Yep.
I'm be ready. 5, 1, 2, good.
I got more than
I'm trying to tell you, this is from, he there. I'm trying to chase him. I was 301. I'm trying to chase him. Hey, at 301, I'm coming down.
You coming down?
I'm gonna try and get like that, but that's my goal.
I
was 301 a while back. Hey, he on stage.
Put on for the old head.
Yeah,
that's how we come with. That's how we come with.
Yeah.
Yep, we still got our section. What the heck?
Everybody working.
Exactly.
We done came down, man. Hey, that's what's making these camps better. These camps are better because everybody's getting in shape, not just one person. He not doing it by himself. He was like, dang, y'all niggas eating, drinking, but I'm suffering. But if it become like a way of life, he like, dang, this old nigga done lost 81 pounds. I can't be mad about having to lose 25. So nah, yeah, you know, I'm just, like I said, we loving it. It's been a great camp. He actually gonna have fat on his body. And I learned, like I said, I'm learning from older coaches who telling me good stuff. Hey, y'all leaned him out too much. He over leaned. He put some fat back on him. So yeah, we learning that. You know, I had a couple of good coaches. Like I said, Coach Calvin was like, what was your contract? Contract was 48. He said, why is he coming in at 46.2? He was like, bro, you leaning him out too much. So we learning from every time we do this is a learning process. So when it is his time, we will have mastered how we need to be. And like I said, understand that he's growing up. You remember how small he was at 15, but he had just had more weight. But now he's smaller than he was when he was getting ready for fights.
Still
at
getting
15,
taller,
16.
getting taller.
Right, he getting bigger.
He feeling in.
Right, his body's feeling in. So yeah, we got this. We got on the road. Y'all gonna see what we do.
You know, it's crazy. You know, when you speak about that, about the different coaches, it's almost like a village.
It is, man. Man, look, Coach Kenny stayed behind in Vegas when we was in camp with them the last time out there, and he came in the gym the next day when they were down in where did they go? Atlanta. When they went down to Atlanta for the press conference, Coach Kenny came in the gym and worked out with him that very next day. He was like, Sean, I'm here to help you. You know, so it is. It's not like a village. It is. Coach Kenny, I can call him. Coach Calvin, I can call him. Zoe, I pick up the phone to call him. Coach Bowes, me and him call each other, not even about boxing. Hey, bro, how you doing? How the family? So, you know, he always tell me, you need work, need anything from him? Come on up. If I got some guys from somewhere called, I'm going to call you. Come on up. So we all kind of learning together. If the younger coaches and father-son combinations call me and they be like, brother, we look up to what you're doing, I call Bosey. You know, I call Boots. I say, I'm proud of what y'all doing. Coach Calvin, Tank, Kenny, I'm proud of what they're doing. Those are also great father-son combinations and father-daughter combinations that are doing it. Calvin, Tank is like his son. Mm-hmm. Mia, that's Coach Kenny's daughter. Boots, that's Bosey's son. These people have been around these kids their whole life. And they're not just their fighters. These are people they genuinely care about. So when you get brought into a fold like that, and them guys looking out, it was times that Jalil went up to camp and had to spar. Kenny said, just send them up here, man. I got y'all. You know, he called me. We did 6 rounds, and we stopped it. Well, he could have got 8. Like, bro, I got 6. So they looking out like that's their fighter. So, yeah, we got what I call that East Coast village. You know, on the East Coast, they rocking. Tank is the now. Boots is about to be his generation's the now. Jalil is behind them for his generation. But when you get to be in camp with Tank while he's in his reign, not while he's on the back end of his reign, but in the prime of his reign, you learn it. You get to see the pressure different. He bringing it because he's the lion. You the young lion. So you can only learn from that. With Boots, we went spar Boots. You was up there. Man, that was a great
sport.
Boots. I appreciated every round. I appreciated the fact that he brought the true element of professionalism to the sparring, and he showed my son some things. My son got to show I belong here. Coach Bosey say anytime you need something, bring him back. He saw stuff he ain't like. He was like, Shawty, try this because I know this work or that. So yeah, we got our East Coast village because the West Coast, I'm just keeping it 100. They always had villages. That West Coast, them West Coast mobs, man, they always had villages. You got the Garcias, you got the Buelis brothers. I mean, all the way back to then. their villages was grinding, and then they had each other. So that what kept them great. Whether we friends or not, enemies or not, I can go get that work to get ready for a world title fight. If we doing it on our coast,
That must be a West Coast thing, because it's like that in the dog world also, in the American bully world. It's a really tight like that. The village is tight out there on the West.
So now our East Coast becoming their own villages. When it's time to bring our sharpest swords to the table versus their sharpest swords, ours cutting too. You know, when Boots make his jump for a world title, if he got to fight somebody from the West Coast, I want Bose to pick up the phone and say, hey, we need Shawty. We getting ready for our big one. If we in that situation, I want to be able to do the same thing. If it works out perfect, great. If it doesn't, we know we had the best situation to prepare for it. That's all we got to ask, man. You know, like I said, I respect all them dudes on the West Coast. Especially look at Mikey Garcia, look at his father. That's a whole family, a whole team. Look at all the champions they don't work with. Look at Coach Silas. Look at all the champions. We've been in his gym.
Yeah, exactly.
He got a bunch of champions. He got a bunch of guys. We got to get that same village mentality on this East Coast and make it where our guys get strong. Our guys become the best they can be. We've done it to a degree I seen on our amateur level. Like, look at Jamal Hall. We done sparred with Jamal early when he was young, when he came home last time, in hopes of him achieving everything he want, because that make us better. You know, that make us. If you got 10 champions, the attention is on where the 10 champions are. If you have one champion and he lose, the attention left with his belt. So, you know, we want that whole thing. You know, we done had some great history. You think back when Keith Holmes was a world champion.
I think we had five at one time, and
I don't mean to cut y'all off, but mind you, he's comparing a city, or we can say an area, where we've been compared to a whole states. Like they compare DC to California. That's a whole state. DC is just a city.
Yeah, but if we can grow that to a larger situation, once again, if you and Boots are both welterweights, and he get ready to fight one of they Mexican or Spanish or whatever, West Coast welterweights, we gotta put that in. We gotta put it in to make us better.
Once upon a time, DC had what, 5 world champions at once?
Yeah, but that wasn't unusual for us.
Yeah, that was in one city. And when they say, oh, Cali that had 5 world champions at once before, I'm like, see, that's California. That's a whole state. When I see if they say, oh, DC, Los Angeles.
California like 40 times.
I see if they said Los Angeles had 5 world champions. That would be different. Then that's like, oh, that small city had all.
No, look how small DC is compared to just about every city out there.
Yeah. So
we get back to putting our guys, whether it's DC, whether it's DC and Philly, whether it's DC, Philly, New York, you know, whatever it is, if our West Coast guys, when we ain't fighting each other, can help each other get ready for them big fights. The glory days of boxing, I'm just being honest, was when you had great Latino fighters, Mexican, Spanish, Puerto Rican, who was able to go against great African American fighters. That's keeping it 100. Man, they used to call Roger Mayweather the Black Mamba.
The Black Mamba?
Man, Slim made a killing, a reputation of fighting Latino fighters. But guess what? The Latino fans love wars. They respect you if you bring that thing to the table. Whether you win or lose, they respect you for that. That's what they want. You look at fights like when Trinidad and Oscar fought. I thought Oscar had that joint, but in the 12th he ain't fight. Shit, then people wasn't going for that. You got a Mexican and a Puerto Rican, and you telling me you gonna take the boxers route out? Nah, people wanna see
you gotta go to war.
Insane.
There got to be some blood.
When Canelo fought Triple G the first time, them people was like, champ, where we do that at? We bring that pain. The second time, you saw a different Canelo. So that's what our sport is bred off of. I don't think it's true when they say, you know, the best fights aren't always happening now. The best fights are fights that bring the most excitement. Just ask somebody whoever thought when they first signed that fight that Arturo Gotti and Mickey Ward was going to be what they thought it was the first time. Nobody thought that fight was going to be that.
Yes, not at all.
Then it was so good they made a second one. Nobody on earth thought the second fight was going to be better than the first fight. They did a third one. Nobody thought those two fighters would have a trilogy, let alone that great. So that tells you, bad fights don't exist unless both fighters ain't bringing what they're supposed to bring to the table.
That's a great point.
There is no bad fight. It's if you don't bring it to the table. So for me, I just want to make sure my son always bringing it to the table. You look at Tank. When Tank fought Gamboa, it was a good fight. When Tank fought Barrios, it was a good fight. He keep going to look for the biggest challenge. I respect him for that. He's looking for the challenges. You got Ugas, who stepped to the plate to replace Earl to fight Manny Pacquiao. He beat Manny. He ain't do 2 or 3 fights. He said, man, let's bring the big dog on. Now him and Earl about to get it in. That's gonna be a great fight. That's what make great fights. The two combatants, not two names. If 2 names get in there and they don't bring the greatness to it, it's not a great fight. So this is what we got to look forward to. And then look at what boxing doing for real. We making young champions. Look at Shakur Stevenson, young champion. Look at Devin Haney, young champion. You know, it's Teofimo stepped up and beat Lomo, who at the time people thought was one of the top 2 people as far as fighters in the world.
In the world.
Young champions. Young champions, the thing I like about them, they just left the amateurs not even 3 years ago. So they still got the amateur mindset. I want to fight the best dude, and I'm going to bring the best fight. If I lose, I can go back around again. Them dudes trying to do that now. So I think with that happening, you're going to see, I don't know what division it's going to be in, but you're going to see a 4 king situation like when Marvin Hagler, Tommy Hearns, Ray Leonard, and Duran Wall middleweights. You're going to see that. I don't know what division it's going to be in. I just hope my son part of it. And if you look at that, none of them 4 dudes came out unscathed. Each one of them lost to one of those guys, but they're still legends. They still made money. And at the end of the day, that's all I want for my son.
Man, I truly appreciate your time as always. And another day in the life with Jalil. Finishing up what you was doing with him, Coach.
Get it in his face. Just a little therapy.
Little therapy at the end of the session.
We gotta tell them to come to America, cut us a royalties check, you know, because we always quote them. Right, Bernard? Oh. In the face. So they need to cut the check in the face. In the face. Jalil Hackett punch you in the face. Yes, sir. Appreciate it.
Appreciate it. There you have it. Another day in the life of Jalil Hackett. Head round 15.
I am indeed. Indeed. Face.